Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. We have a jam-packed program today.
I'm Efwa Daines. There's a new spa in town. I want to go.
And I'm Stacy Beck. Do you know what a Children's Justice Center is? We'll find out.
And Connie Sokol is here with an important message coming right up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How are we all doing?
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely. Not really.
You've had a busy day, though. Your mom just came into town.
Oh, she has.
Mom.
You know,
Wow.
she's going to be here for over a month.
Oh, okay.
Just, under a month. And
That's so nice.
you know, that's right. And so we had her for Easter. That was lovely. And I always love the Easter dinner, actually. So she cooked.
That is nice.
I know. I've got to get in with the cooking, but it's nice.
Oh, good. And she'll help a lot, right?
And
While she's there?
absolutely,
Good,
yeah.
Good.
But it's not about that, though, is it? We help our mothers, right?
Right, but no, it's helpful, I think, to have a mom.
I'm down with it. Yeah, make my mom cook still if she's able. That's good.
thing.
I'm kind of squeamish right now. So I think so. This past week, I thought about jumping on your wagon. I was all about the vegan wagon.
Oh,
yeah,
I've been so good. 5 days, like
Oh,
this.
good. Yeah.
Raw too.
So I saw something on social media that was just really bad for me. I watched a bad meat video that just was not like I can't get it out of my brain. So I'm having a hard I'm having a hard time right now.
You have to watch one of those. Don't you?
I'm sure that I will get past it, but right now I've been eating a lot of clementines and celery.
Well, speaking of food then, this leads into what I wanted to just share, that Fresh Market will be closing down here. Probably as this segment airs. And Vasa will take over the building in May and start remodeling and open in the fall.
So that's bittersweet. So I think a lot of people are super excited about the expansion of the new big gym because it's going to have full facilities, right? Like the pool, the whole big,
Wait, racquetball, because Vassar is small. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a great facility.
Yeah, the expansion is going to be fantastic.
Yes.
I have to say, I'm a little sad just because Barrett's Dance Studio is connected to the back of Fresh Market, so that's where I'd always run in to do my shopping. So I was in there and I was a little sad. It was convenient, but I'm just sad because of the convenience factor.
Yes.
Recently, you guys, I don't even know it because you're not from Spanish Fork, but Reese Elementary School, the old elementary school on 400 North. You guys, it was an old, decrepit building, and that's come down. And a woman there in the neighborhood that has been absolutely fantastic is building some apartments. It'll be 34 apartments that'll come in. It's going to be a beautiful building, 2 stories.
Oh my goodness.
Very affordable.
Yeah.
So,
Growth. Love it.
So we also really lack, not only in Spanish Fork, but throughout the state of Utah, in just affordable housing. So I believe these will be like $900 to $1,100 a month, which is crazy how much rent has gone up since when we were married.
Yes, like 500 is beautiful.
I know. I think I paid $250 a month on our first apartment.
Are you that old, darling? No.
Oh, stop.
Geez. This week I would be maybe happy to go back to renting homeowners.
Yeah.
Sometimes not the best. Just had a bit of a little rain shower inside the house this week. A little flood. The humidifier pipe decided to burst this week.
Oh, goodness. Really?
Yes,
So you're right
we've
in the
had
trenches of
right
that.
in the trenches. So yes, restoration services in there and trying to replace some things. Carpet and some drywall and insulation and going through
The
whole thing. Yes, we
down in the basement.
In the basement. Yes, so it looks like Ghostbusters has been in there with the fans and the heating devices and
the smell.
The musty.
The
musty smell, not so fun. But man, they have some cool devices, I must say.
Really?
So some of the probing devices they have to check where some of the water has gone in. I mean, some of the technology is just amazing and how quickly. So thank you, Sunshine Restoration. Give a shout out to them. They've been fantastic. So from Spanish Fork, I told Russ that he'll have to come and join us sometime. Be better prepared for that. So I don't know if you can ever be prepared for that, but not so fun. Not the greatest week for me. Like I had a bad technology week, a bad flooding week, and
some weeks are like that. My Monday was like that. I was just down and out and just came home and just was like, I'm just gonna read or be in my room and no one come in because I'm just not in the mood for any
hiding yourself
But some
away.
days you just, and it's weird because I'm normally not like that. So when I do have a day, I'm just like, thank you that I'm usually optimistic and happy, because being down or having big life events that just throw you that curveball.
Which is really exciting to have a guest like Connie on today, because she's so upbeat and going to be talking about her conference event, and you've got this women, and just being really upbeat about some of the things too. To uplift women, and
I'm excited.
Yeah, super great show coming up.
And then,
It's gonna be good.
did you watch all of our wedding segments? Oh my gosh, you guys, that was a fun show. I
Super
went and
fun.
rewatched all of them, and I'm like, we had incredible guests.
Did you feel like though that you wanted to get married again? I didn't.
No.
No, I didn't either.
No.
So I remember one time going swimming and seeing these little pretty girls, and then swimming costumes, and you're thinking, oh, I used to look like that, But I didn't have that feeling for the wedding. Like, I wish I could do this again.
Yeah.
Did you have that feeling? I didn't.
So super fun to just, to maybe plan someone else's wedding.
That's right.
That for sure. And then ladies' night out. How fun was that?
Yeah. That was
Thank
good.
you. Big shout out to Amy Dickerson at 56 West.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
always
a
fun.
fun
Beautiful
time.
place.
Yeah.
I like the way they
And the
designed it
skincare
and
and just the knowledge people have. Estheticians are in the right market right now, educating people about what
Did
they
you feel
need to
like
do.
you were glowing after?
It did feel wonderful. I loved it. And
The products
she
are really good.
gave some fantastic giveaways. I would love people to just go in and support them for just the giveaways. The fee to come was $10, and I bet most people went home with $20 to $50 of free merchandise. So
Yes.
not bad.
No.
Thanks for
bad at
coming
all.
and supporting us.
Thank you.
Should take advantage the next time we do this,
That's
right?
right.
Yes,
It's gonna be
for sure.
fun. Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, coming up next, we don't like to talk about it, but we can't avoid it, and it's not taxes. Don't go away. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. The passing of a loved one is a difficult time, but to add to all the final arrangements, it can be overwhelming. To give us an overview, welcome Brad Walker from Walker Funeral Home to the program.
Hi, Brad.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
We've
it.
got lots of good questions for you today.
Oh, that's great.
So this is a bit of a touchy subject, something that someone doesn't always want to talk about, but sometimes it's better to have a bit of a plan, because inevitably it's going to come one day, right?
Absolutely. It's such a tender and sacred time for families when they lose their loved ones. But what we find is a lot of people don't have those hard conversations prior to the time that they need them, because it is such a touchy and tender subject. One of the things that we're very passionate about is having people just prearranging, even if they have a communication one with another amongst family. What would we do? What are things of how we can help? What are some of the plans that we may end up wanting? And so,
So what are some of those things that we should think of, like location of where we want to be buried, if we want to be cremated,
absolutely.
pre-purchasing a casket?
Absolutely.
Like what kind of things?
So anywhere in that range,
whatever.
the spectrum, at least to start the conversation's a good thing. One of the things that we have and that we tend to give to people when they look at and look is called My Planning Guide. And this is just something that when the time comes, it goes through some of those topics. It helps to walk through it, information that's needed for a death certificate, things that maybe your family members don't know about you that are important you may want in an obituary. It can go as far as sometimes people say, well, let's look at a casket and what would we want to purchase, and maybe go as far as wanting to pre-fund some of those things. But the best thing is to have any information so that there's a place to begin and a place that when that time comes, family doesn't feel lost and feel helpless to go, how are we going to pay for this? What are we going to do? What are mom and dad's wishes? And so we like to be able to have people have some of those hard conversations of how they'll want to be remembered and who's going to tell their story.
I have a couple of questions when you're talking about how do you pay for it, from cremation up to a full-fledged funeral. That's a big price range. What kind of price range are we looking at?
Yeah, a lot of times when people look at price ranges, to give you a national range, cremation's an interesting subject because most people don't realize that Burial has a whole bunch of options, just like cremation would have a whole bunch of options.
Really?
So cremation doesn't just have to be a cremation that takes place and that's the end. You can still have a visitation, a viewing, a funeral service, a casket, and then do the cremation afterwards. But to go from kind of a expense value of showing a range, they'd say somewhere between $1,000 if you did what's called a minimal cremation or a simple cremation. And then traditionally nationwide, they would say an average for a funeral cost would be somewhere in the range of about $7,500 from the funeral home, or $10,000 by the time you're finished with headstones, burial plots, and everything that you may have there.
And
Great
I bet it can go up from there too.
Yeah.
In Utah, I would think that we're saving a little money because if there's such a big LDS community, they're providing the lunch. Where outside of the state, I would think the family's providing a lot of that too, right?
Yeah, and Utah also is one of the few states that has city-owned cemeteries. And because of that, it helps to keep some of the costs down so that, even as expensive as they are, it's nowhere near what a private cemetery would end up costing for a family to go through.
Wow.
Yeah, great question. The other thing that's interesting and neat, though, we were talking about cremation. We're one of the few places that actually have a crematory that is on our location and site. Most places, even if they offer that, they may not have a crematory. They may be taking it to a different place that might be up in Salt Lake, or even bringing it to us to do the cremation for them. But we find that it's such an important time that with all the things that are in the news, everything that's out there, we want to make sure that the loved ones have the best care and there's the most respect that's given to them. And so that's why we have a crematory that's on site at our location here.
If I can just say thank you to Walkers here in Spanish Fort, because my father passed away, and my father-in-law and my father, and you guys just really take care of everyone. I can't imagine what a humbling job you must have, but just the way everyone's treated and the kindness and the love and respect. So
thank you.
So thank you. You guys are wonderful.
It's such an honor for us to be able to help it at, like I said, such a tender time. And it really is just spiritually uplifting to see how these lives have been lived and the legacy that's left through family. And it really is an amazing part for us to be a part of that. And so we're grateful that we can help in a small way in our community here.
Did you ever question, I believe you mentioned that you were third generation as part of this. Was there ever a time that you thought, maybe this isn't what I want to do? Or was it just something that naturally...
Well, I'll tell you a kind of a funny story, a tongue-in-cheek. So I grew up in the funeral home. I didn't know any different. And the first time I went to a friend's house, he took me on a tour and he says, here's my bedroom, the basement, the kitchen. And we got done and I turned and I said, well, where do you keep your dead people? And I had no idea that I was different, that I was the only one who lived in a mortuary. And so for me growing up, I looked at what I wanted to do, and one was find some way to help people. And this was such a great way that family was able to give me this opportunity to say, this is a great way that we can help our community, that we can help the people who are around us. And as times went on, I found, even though I may have grown up in the funeral home, it helped to give us a different perspective and an outlook to be able to help those who are in need and who have loved ones.
And so how many of your siblings went into this field?
So my brother Adam is also in the business, and my brother-in-law Frank, he married my sister Amy, and he's also in the business. So
wow, that's really awesome, because I know I was actually intrigued by the business for some time, and I think you have to go out of state to go to school.
They did. They actually have one that's at Salt Lake Community College, and I'm actually an adjunct professor there to help with teaching at times there. So
well, this makes me think through a little some things that maybe I can plan ahead.
Well, one of the things I did for each of you, I brought one of these planning guides.
Awesome.
If anyone in our community ever wanted one, they're more than welcome to come by. We'd be happy to give one to them to help them to plan, but we'll give one to you, and you're hopefully you don't take it as it's any morbid sign, that it's truly a gift of a way to spur a conversation amongst family, even though they may be hard topics.
You have a number that people can contact you?
We do, yeah. We'll have our funeral home information. It's right there on Main Street where the funeral home is, and our phone number is 801-798-2169.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
I don't think you can ever plan too much.
No, I think the more you can take care of, I think it would lighten that time. Lighten the load, during that mourning process.
All right, well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Coming up next, you deserve to relax a bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. There is a new spa in town and they offer some pretty neat services. Welcome Katrina Long and Sam Butler from Summit Spa and Float to the table.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
This is going to be a fun segment.
Yes.
We're excited to be here. Thank you. We're excited
Okay,
too.
since I saw the very first Instagram, I've been so super excited. So tell us first of all about the floating. I think that's the thing that I think started. Yes,
that's new, right?
It is.
for us.
It's new-ish. It's actually been around since the 60s and 70s, but it's becoming a little bit more popular. They've done a lot of studies recently that show that it's helped with PTSD and with depression issues. And so being the wife of a firefighter and the daughter of an Army veteran, that was huge for me. So being in the massage therapy business for a while, when we decided to open the spa, it was something I wanted to definitely incorporate so that way we could take care of that first responder population and to be able to help them a little bit more.
And is it something that they need to come to, like kind of like therapy, a couple times, several times, once, and you see a difference?
So the studies have shown after about 3 floats, it's similar to popping an Ativan, which is a antidepressant pill. And so what it does is it helps turn off the fight or flight senses in your brain and allows your body to just relax and kind of check out. So the thing that they're liking the most about it is they don't have to go in and talk to somebody and rehash what happened to cause that depression or the PTSD. They can just go in, relax, and let their mind take care of it.
And this really is working.
Yes.
That is incredible.
What's in the actual container? I mean, how does it, do you go in naked?
You do actually. So it's a sensory deprivation tank. So it is filled with about 180 gallons of water. That's the temperature of your skin. So it's 94 degrees. It's not hot. It's not cold. You don't go in with anything on. And totally.
Nothing.
Yes. So we have spa robes and sandals and showers. So you don't.
I mean,
It's just you in the pod and you're in the buff.
Yeah, don't worry about bringing your swimsuit. We have you taken care of. And then there's 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in there. So on top of it being really great for your mind, it's also really great for your body because it helps take all the tension out of the muscle tissue, all the pressure off of the spinal cord. It just really helps the whole entire body to relax, both mind and body.
Yeah. And so you're horizontal. Is the containers flat or?
Yeah, because you have to float. You can't float standing up.
Okay, all right.
And how long are you typically floating?
For an hour.
An hour. Just you and the salt.
Okay, and the craziest part to me was my first float when I got out. It felt like my hair had just gotten the greatest condition treatment that I've ever had. And my skin was soft. It was soft. And that's just something you don't expect when you're in a salt bath.
Right.
Interesting.
So besides like PTSD or...
What other benefits?
What are benefits for just like a regular person just wanting to come do it?
So great for optimizing athletic performance. So a lot of athletes are starting to use floating on a regular basis again for the mind to help clear their mind, but also because it is helping them to detox and get rid of that lactic acid after they're having a big performance or a game. And so fantastic for the muscle tissue.
Wow. And how many pods do you have on site?
We have 2. So 2 people can come in and float at the same time.
Wow.
Do you have to book in advance or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that's only one element. So we're just touching on one element.
Yes.
What other services do you have?
Do you want to talk about our CelluSculpt? That's probably the most exciting one.
Oh, I love the CelluSculpt. Okay, so
Let's talk about that because spring and summer are coming, friend.
Yes.
yes, and you want to be swimsuit ready. That's always a big thing.
Yes, pray tell.
So I have a friend that I just want to use as my example. She's a good friend of mine. And we started doing CelluSculpt. Let's see, I think she's done 5 treatments. And she's like, Sam, is this really going to work? Am I going to get results? She's, she's doing her student teaching. And so she was like, I'm not going to be eating well. I'm going to be eating whatever I want because I'm going to be super stressed. Is this going to do anything? And I was like, Laura, I'm sure that it will. Let's see what happens. She's lost 8 inches. She has not done anything different to her diet. She was super surprised herself. But one of the greatest things that you do with the CelluSculpt is you have 2 tools that you use. You use a cup that we usually do for cupping, and you drag the skin, and it helps to warm up the skin. And then we use the
fascia blaster.
the fascia
So
blaster.
the cupping is over the skin area. Okay.
Yes.
And what did you call
We
it?
use a fascia blaster. So
You
it helps
guys seen
break up
those?
the actual fascia, and it helps to get rid of the cellulite.
So what's
Yes.
fascia
It's
blasting?
fantastic.
Smoothing out those nasty bumps in
Yes.
the back of your legs.
Yes, definitely.
Yep, stomach, legs, arms, and Katrina has. We have all of this on our
Website?
on our Facebook page.
okay.
And Katrina has a client, and she excites me so much because she wasn't even doing this for the weight loss. She was doing it for other reasons to help some health conditions that she was going through. And her inches that she lost are incredible.
15.75 inches.
Yes, it's amazing. Like her stomach, you can tell the most on her stomach and her chest.
Okay, so
Is it a full body thing that you do this CelluScoping, or is it just, do you target just one area?
We just target the legs, the stomach, and the arms.
But you book one procedure. Like if I came in, I just do the stomach,
It's a 10 series or a 20 series.
and you do all 3 of those areas.
We do all 3 of those areas in one session.
That makes sense. Okay, what other things?
So how much? Just roughly with that?
It's just under 600 for a 10 series. So a lot of people are familiar with Cool Sculpting.
Yes.
That's kind of big right now. So
And
this
that's
is a really great alternative to Cool Sculpting, and you're getting some great results as well. So
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot less than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Tell us another
What else?
thing that's there at your spa.
Any type of aesthetics or lip plumping or what other things can we find on your menu?
we do.
I love this.
You don't need lip plumping. No, I don't think good lips. I do.
So we do have 2 estheticians on staff, and so we do chemical peels, we do microblading, eyelashes, facials, we do all of that, and manicures, pedicures.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Essentially everything except hair.
everything except for hair.
Fantastic.
I love that. That's
Everything
fantastic.
Gift
get
cards would be
gorgeous.
a great idea for Mother's Day coming up in May, just right around the corner. So to plan ahead, that would be a great idea.
Oh, yes.
All right, and where are you located?
So we're right across the street from Carl's Jr. right here in Spanish Fork, and right behind the UCCU Credit Union.
Yeah.
So 63 East, 800 North.
Okay, and you mentioned both Instagram and Facebook, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is really awesome.
Should we get
Oh
down
yes,
there?
we're definitely going in.
We are very excited to see you in there. Yes.
Thanks
We'll
for
make a group
coming.
visit. Yes, thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Coming up next, we'll talk about the new Children's Justice Center. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Where can children go if they are in need of help? Welcome Christine Kokel from the Children's Justice Center.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
So good to have you.
So tell us about the Justice Center, exactly what it is and how you help children.
So the Children's Justice Center is a place where, when there are allegations of child abuse, sexual or physical, they come to us where they do the forensic interviewing. So we get together with with law enforcement and DCFS. They come together, and I'm there to kind of help the parents, give them direction on where to go for the healing. While the kids are upstairs having those interviews recorded full visually and audio.
So is it a kind of a short-term thing for these children?
Yeah, so it's not shelter at all. It's really just a place to come. It takes usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how much the child is talking about their story.
Okay.
You know, and so they're interviewed by people who are very well trained on how to do it. And so sometimes the kids won't talk at all, but other times with asking the right questions, very open-ended questions, the kids will tell what has happened to them.
Okay, so I envisioned them coming like that multiple times, but that's not the case. They just come one time, tell their story, and it's just a safe place for them to tell their story, and then they move on.
Yes, so it used to be, many years ago, they would have to go to the police station. So if you can imagine, if you were like a 10-year-old girl, you'd been sexually abused, you go into the police station, you're they're surrounded by other like criminals who are having people talk to them, and these kids are going, am I in trouble? Am I a bad kid? What happened? And so they shut down, and so they realized that these kids needed a better place, a better way to serve them. Yeah, and so the Children's Justice Center is like a home-like environment where they come, so they feel a little bit more comfortable talking about very uncomfortable things.
And is it the parents that call?
It depends. So sometimes it's a parent, sometimes it's a school teacher, just whoever gets the information. Sometimes it's a therapist, but whoever that first story is disclosed to, they will call either law enforcement or the DCFS to report the abuse.
How do you get funding? Is it state funded?
It's partly state funded, and it's also through grants and charitable contributions.
Is it connected to the Dollhouse Festival?
Yes. Yeah.
And has that changed its name?
Yes, they've changed it to the Hope and Healing Festival. Yes. Good question.
Okay.
When does that take place?
So that usually takes place in September. October, September. Yeah.
And that's like a fundraiser event,
Yeah, it's
right?
a fundraiser.
Where people donate items, and then people can go in an auction and raise money.
So we have the Friends Board, and they're the ones who are in charge of all the fundraising, and they do that. Yeah, so they're awesome.
Okay.
So do you have a volunteering section?
Yes, there's lots of opportunities for volunteering. So we have Annette Dyer, who's the one who's in charge, and she can send out information if anybody ever wants to. There's on-site volunteers. We have groups. You can volunteer for the groups. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for that.
So our viewers can just go to your website and get all that information. Okay.
Now, I'm interested to know, because the volunteers, if they're there, on a consistent basis, but these children are only coming there one time. Now, maybe after they've disclosed their story, and they may even be afraid to leave again, can they come back, or how might that work?
Usually we try to get, we're working with the court system as well, and so we want to make sure that they only have to tell their story one time.
Okay.
So if they have to go to court, that is available. They can watch that. But sometimes other abuses take place, and so if they have to call and come again for that to disclose another abuse situation, that's usually how they come back more than once. But we also offer on-site group therapy, and so that's the time when they do come back, but it's mainly for the therapy, not for the legal part of it. Does that make sense? And and then we also have volunteers we have a mentor program, and so those mentors will spend 6 months with these kids once a week for about an hour to go and do things.
At the center.
Okay.
So everything's done at the center.
And the mentor program, no. So they'll go to the house, and then they'll take the kids for an hour to go do something that the kid likes to do. It's not therapy. It's just a lot of fun, and it's really a way to model, healthy relationships and that kind of stuff. So
and is that volunteer, the mentor, or
that's volunteer? No, that's volunteer.
Again, but they do background checks.
Yes, they do.
Volunteers.
Yes, so background checks. The mentors have 40 hours of training. We feel pretty confident that they're safe people.
Right. Yeah.
When
it comes to children,
Right? Yeah.
Where is the Justice Center located?
So it's in Provo. It's on 315 South, 100 East.
Oh, okay.
So like a little house on the corner.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And April is...
It's Child Abuse Awareness Month, and so we've got this open house coming up to commemorate that on April 10th. Okay. All of the CJCs in the state of Utah will be having these open houses. At our center in Provo, we're going to be giving tours from 11 to 1. The whole community is invited to come to that. We'll have law enforcement there. We'll have the canine unit so you can meet the dogs. And so it'll be fun. We'll take you on the tours that show you what we do.
Okay.
Everything there. And we've got the medical wing, and all that.
So I have a question going back. Like, if a child came to me and said they're being abused, and I call the police department, then they would direct me to go to the Children's Justice Center. Is that kind of how the system
yes.
works?
And with that, I want to say Utah is a mandatory report state, meaning that anybody, regardless of your career, you're required to call and report if there's any suspicion of abuse. So you can call either DCFS or you can call law enforcement where the abuse took place, and then they will get a hold of, if say you called the police, they will get a hold of DCFS, then they will get a hold of us, and that's how that works.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people think that you call the CJC,
Straight away.
yeah, we cannot make those appointments.
Okay.
Chris.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yes,
Thank
that
you.
is such
Thank you for
important
your
work
work.
that you
Yeah.
do.
Thank you.
Yes,
But it's
thank
very
you so
rewarding.
much for being
Very
here.
rewarding, difficult, and rewarding to know that we're making a difference in
But
these
thank you for
kids'
being
lives.
there. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes, and we'll post that information about your open house.
Okay, thank you
Thanks
so
again.
much.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Coming up next, one of our favorite guests is here. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We can't help but be motivated and feel loved when Connie Sokol is here. Welcome back home.
Oh, we love having you here.
Thank you. It's always so fun to be with you guys.
Fabulous.
You're so busy.
Vibrant.
Yes. Yes. Tell us what's been going on.
Oh my gosh, it's so many good things. And I feel that this change of season, it brings this feeling of, I'm ready for new. The spring season, yes. Well, we keep getting it back and forth. It's a taste, it's not. It's a taste. It's just this feeling of, I'm ready for new. I'm ready to shift some things. And that's when I'm talking to women. I feel that from them when they're like, I'm ready to clean out a closet or something. Like, let's just go. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, that's definitely that time of year. And then it's snowing one minute. And then it's sunny one minute.
You're
But
like, I'm going to get a brownie and go into the covers. Oh, I want to clean the closet. Yeah.
totally.
Connie, what are some of the challenges you're finding that women are facing specifically right now?
So many. And I think what's interesting is that you're finding it across the board, across the United States. Even in other countries, you're finding the same things for women. So many similarities. Work-life balance is huge, relationship issues, and also the financial issues and pay disparity and things like that. But those top ones of the work-life balance and the relationships, I'm finding that women are dealing with challenges more than just one that's kind of a big driver, but there's several at the same time. And so they're feeling like I'm literally maxed out, and yet I'm still being required to give more and more, getting less and less sleep, and still being expected to now do it with panache and make everything look so extra good. And I have to
post it on social media
post it on
so
social
everyone knows
media,
I'm doing great.
and then respond to everybody's comments. And you know what I mean? I mean, it's just the expectation for women is absolutely insane. And the beautiful thing, it's getting so insane that it's becoming more and more clear that we have to be the ones that have to stop it. And
So true.
It's so true. It is so true.
And what would you say to that then?
I think one
How
of
do
the
we
biggest
stop it?
things is we're seeing this on social media. When women gather together and come together on a certain cause or a certain point, there's this upswell, and they realize I'm not alone. And that's exactly where I'm at right now. Is I had the reason we're doing this conference. It's a You Got This Women's Interfaith Conference, and I was talking with the gal when we started this. We just were talking about, wouldn't it be great if women could gather together, and especially faith-based, value-based women, because there's so many, and how everybody has such different faiths and belief systems and values. Wouldn't it be great if instead of segregating to our own little bubbles, you know,
Bring them
where we
together.
just, instead of being isolative, why don't we link arms and come together and say, well, how do you handle your challenges? Well, what do you do? That's been
beautiful.
the genesis.
Yeah. Wow.
that is
So what are women doing to face their challenges head on?
Well,
what do you recommend?
What I'm seeing with women is, first of all, that very concept of gathering. And that's why we created this women's conference, this interfaith, because we wanted women to have, first of all, a safe place. There's no judgment. There's no, well, if you aren't feeling this or you don't believe this, there's this absolute safe place. And then come share with us so we can have awareness. So one of the things we're having there is a panel, and it's hosted by Jeanette Bennett, who is fantastic, owner of Utah Valley Magazine. She works with the UN, and she's amazing. She is hosting a panel of 5 women. There's Muslim, and I say this so that we can know the differences, but Baptist, a non-denominational, an LDS woman, and these women are sharing what this looks like to them. How did they deal with their life challenges, so that we can all get awareness of how does a Muslim woman, deal with the challenges in her life?
Does it look the same as an LDS woman or a Baptist?
Or a Baptist or non-denominational. And you know what we're finding? We have so much in common. And as women, when we literally just let down those fears and those comparisons and those judgments, when we let those down and we just see each other as women, wives, mothers, aunts, sisters, and say, how are you doing? doing, girlfriend? We just see each other as real people and not put these barriers up. That's the beautiful thing. So we were sharing a video montage of a day in the life. How do they actually use faith in your everyday life? I couldn't find the soccer cleats and knelt down, said a prayer, and finally found them. Let's get real about this. This is how we're going to get through our daily lives, is those beliefs and each other being able to reach out to one another. And it's so hard for women, don't you find?
Totally.
To be able to say,
Absolutely.
I am suffering, I'm struggling.
I feel like I overshare. Like I'm an open book. I'm like,
Wow, so much better
when
now.
she's saying that, and I'm thinking of one of your guests that's coming to the conference, the Truth Bomb mom.
Yes.
When she's like literally hiding in the pantry and like hiding from the kids, or even some of our local friends that are hiding in their car the other day. They're like, I know that the kids are going to find me in here in just a minute, but I just need a time out. And it's so, and it's so true. And then I'm thinking of my friends in India, when enough is enough at the end of the workday, when you just have to draw the line and say, you know what? I put in my 8 hours and it's done. But then let's move on to the next level. So what about relationships? What are you finding there?
Well, the relationships, I'm finding women are really struggling with kids. The different ages of kids, the different challenges they're going through, a lot of medical issues, a lot of mental health issues. And so we're addressing that. We're talking about how to handle depression, anxiety, and stress management within yourself and also with your loved ones.
and that's kind of a new thing. Like when we were all younger, that wasn't,
Such a
we
big
heard
deal.
about
Such
it.
a stigma. It was, you don't talk about that. That's
And
Aunt
now
Susie.
we're talking about it, but that doesn't mean we know what we're talking about. We're just trying to talk.
And how to handle it. And so you can handle it in positive ways that create positive patterns rather than shame or stigma or something's wrong with you. Being able to take that thing that you've been given and say, okay, what can I do with this? How can I make it better? I've been passed the baton. What do I do now? And that's so helpful for women because, again, they are feeling all of these burdens and there's an extra pressure on women. When, no offense, but when the husbands send kids out the door to school, and they're dressed all whatever and the teachers go, oh, isn't that just so cute? But if a mom does that, then it's like neglect. What is up with her? And so there's this additional pressure of we need to do it. It's that Ginger Rogers quote I did about Fred Astaire. I did everything he did backwards and in heels. We are expected to do it better, faster, stronger, swirling all the plates. And instead, what I'm finding is women really need to be able to let down and open up to others, like you alluded to. There's Christina Kuzmic is the headliner, that 600 million views. I mean, she's amazing. But she has one video that I absolutely love where it's just don't, where she's saying when a woman finally opens up to you and says, I just can't get Junior to sleep through the night, don't start rattling on about how your Susie slept, from birth. That's right. And you should use avocados and olive oil, don't you know? Whatever. And she just says, don't. Just let them talk. Just let them talk and validate. And we can do that for each other. We can just touch a hand or go, I know, that's so hard. Even if that didn't happen to you, you can say, sleep deprivation, that's the worst. Because we've all experienced that.
We all know that
Validation.
Validation and just connecting where we can and validating you are not alone. So often that's all women really need is just 2 minutes of someone looking in their eyeballs and saying, I get you. I'm so sorry, right?
And usually in a relationship with a husband, they want to fix it.
Yes.
That's what my husband
And
says.
have
I want to
helpful
fix it.
suggestions.
You're just like, just listen. So tell us more about this conference. When is it? How much is it? Who's going to be there? What? Tell us.
It is so fabulous, truly. I mean, it has just bloomed. April 14th at the UCCU Center, which is the big center on UVU campus. And it's 9 to 4, so it's all day event, but you can come and go. Come and go as you choose. Yes, because people will have soccer and they'll have tournaments and things like that. So come and get what you can. We have the morning session and the afternoon. So in the morning session, we have Paige Holland giving welcoming remarks. Fantastic. And then we have 3 speakers talking about reframing life challenges, being able to understand your divine identity and relying on that in your daily challenges. I'll be talking about finding balance in the daily go and giving you actual tips. We want you to walk away with actual how-tos that you can start putting right into practice. We have the Deborah Bonner Unity Choir. They'll be singing This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. So people will be singing, clapping, and moving, Clint Pulver, who's the MC, was amazing. Brooke Walker will be hosting Christina Kuzmic, our headliners. So Brooke Walker from Studio 5. Wonderful. Then we have Women in the Afternoon who will be talking about depression, anxiety, and stress management, like I just talked about. And then also women leadership and developing who you are to create a difference just right where you are. I mean, there is subject after subject, and it's all main stage. So this means we didn't want you to move. You don't move around because then you lose time and so much gets lost there. We want women to share the experience together, to look at the person sitting next to them and just be able to feel like we're sharing this. We want the moms, the sisters, the aunts, the nieces, bringing them 16 and older, bringing them to share this day because we're going to have dialogue. We're going to have interactive things where we want you to be able to be thinking, writing, doing, so that when you leave, you feel like, when you get done with the conference, you've got like 16 pages of notes. You never go back and read them. So we want you to experience it there to get the learning and then be able to go home and hit the ground running with that recharge.
Oh my goodness.
It's incredible. Lieutenant Governor Cox and his wife Abby will be giving remarks at lunch. I mean, we have everybody and everything that you could need. And
my gosh.
Just
okay, ladies, we need to sign up.
Seriously.
For sure. We'll
Fantastic.
be there. I'm going to be there for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be posting all of the information to get registered for this conference as usual.
We'll see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
There's more Studio Chatter on the way. Wow, we made it again. What did you learn today?
Oh my goodness, so much. Connie, Connie So
love
Cool.
Connie.
Conference, totally going $39. I'm not really promoting, but yes, we've got to go. For sure. Yes, loved it. Women empowerment, I'm all about that. Making women better, stronger, fantastic.
I can't believe that.
Do you think, Do you think?
I think that you could be a candidate.
Do you think
maybe?
so?
Maybe.
Oh
maybe.
man, I
Yes.
just love that though.
I love her energy.
Yeah.
Like she has such positive vibes and just good stuff.
The thing I want to go do is the float.
Me too. I was just going to say that
I'm
too.
still thinking about the naked part, but I'm
You just
gonna
have
go.
to let that go.
I know, it's just
let it go.
What if there's cameras in there or something?
There's not
some
cameras in there.
I mean,
It's like you're in a tub.
really? Have you
Well,
been
yes.
there?
No, but
Gonna go and let me know.
yes, I'm gonna go. Yeah, they had some cool things. I just appreciate our guests. Their time coming here.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
sharing.
Everything was so educational
Yes.
today,
It really
and
was.
I've always been so. I don't know if it's mesmerized or intrigued by the afterlife or planning
afterlife, definitely, yes.
for funerals or. But I so appreciated the mortician coming in today and talking to us about. You can never really. Plan too much for. I mean, it's a hard conversation to have, but a necessary conversation to have to just really get things in order.
Absolutely.
Like it's so
almost
important.
as important as planning a wedding.
Really, I mean,
New life,
But yeah, you don't
maybe
plan
more
for the
important.
funeral.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're ever going to get married.
That's
you are going to die.
That's right. That is
Speaking about death,
Yes.
let's talk about our book.
Our book.
Not that it's really about death, but this man called Ova.
Over.
Okay,
that
this
was so
book
good.
is so
It really
witty
was.
and charming.
Yeah, it
Great
was.
choice.
I loved it. I mean, I loved his little quirks and, the old man next door who's like, rah, rah, rah.
Oh yeah,
Just kind of
he is
grumpy.
Yeah.
You fall in love with him.
Yes.
But yeah, you're just like, if he was my neighbor, I don't know if I would be going over to engage like these other
Kicking
characters.
his cat too.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that these neighbors fell in love with him, and I mean,
How much he helped, begrudgingly, but near the end, I think he realized.
And there's a couple things. I mean, after having read it, he lost his wife, but yet you don't know that until a little ways into the book because he keeps talking to her, and that's just so loving. And then I don't know. I don't know if I want to overshare, but like that he's trying to take his own life, and the neighbors keep interrupting him.
Shouldn't be so hard to kill yourself.
It's like, I'm trying to get to you, but the dang neighbors keep coming over, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So that was funny.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thanks.
I really loved it. Did you like it?
Oh, loved it. Yes, yeah.
Just the way he went
It's
on.
very endearing because I think one of the lines in there is it's always the little things that you miss after someone is gone. And he talks a number of times about her index finger when they're holding hands, just being inside the palm of his hand, or how he was never really the type of person who belonged with someone like her, how he really kind of married above him, but she loved him. And he loved her, and they were meant to be. And I think that's really why he just wanted to, get to her.
Right.
So,
and the people they surrounded themselves even looked at their relationship like that. Like, why would you marry him? Like, you're so above him. But she loved him as much and saw that inner goodness, which I think that's what we want to see in our spouse. Is that,
and I love the sob. He loved the sob because his dad. I thought that was hilarious. And then they had the fight with his next door neighbor because he went out and bought. What did he go buy?
Was it a Toyota? Or
no, it was a BMW.
In the end, it was the BMW.
And he never talked to his friend again over that. And he's like, if he's going to buy a BMW, I'm not even going to be friends. I'm like,
until he got really sick, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
His friend got sick, and then it shows how they get back together.
it's a great read.
It is a great read.
Is great.
Yeah, so thanks for that. So what's the next one?
Yeah.
So I picked up this book at Costco last month, and it's called The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna.
Okay.
And I couldn't put it down. It was the type of book that you're like leaving work and you're like, hey, if I go home and make something easy for dinner and I don't have anything tonight, that gives me 4 hours to read. Okay. Like,
wow.
It just it drew me in, and it was different than other things that I've read. I just really enjoyed it. So I hope that you like it.
So is it fiction, nonfiction? I mean,
nonfiction. No, fiction.
Fiction.
Yep.
Okay.
And Kristen Hanna is a great author. She wrote The Nightingale, which our book club had read and all loved. But The Great Alone, you can pick it up at Costco in hardback for I think $14.99 or so.
That's not bad.
So let's read it.
Well,
yes.
There you go.
There you go, my friends.
Fun show. Well, thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Tell a friend about us.